I signed the paperwork without even checking her references. I should have asked more questions, but when she pushed her hair back and I saw that crescent-shaped birthmark behind her left ear, my pen froze mid-signature. The same mark my husband had. The same mark I used to trace with my fingertip on lazy Sunday mornings. Robert had been dead for 8 years. And this girl standing in my office, desperate and 21, shouldn't exist. But she did. Let me back up. My name is Eleanor Walsh, and I'm 66 years old. For the past 35 years, I've run Walsh Morrison Law, a small immigration and family law firm in Portland, Oregon. My late husband Robert and I built it from nothing, working out of a converted garage, until we could afford an actual office. We never got rich, but we helped people. Real people. Families trying to stay together, mothers fighting for their kids, immigrants chasing the American dream we're all supposed to believe in. I thought my daughter Victoria understood that. I thought I raised her to value purpose over profit. I was wrong. It started 6 months ago. Tori, as she prefers to be called, had just made junior partner at Morrison & Hayes, this massive corporate firm downtown. She'd graduated from Columbia Law, clerked for a federal judge, did everything right. I was proud. Robert would have been proud. Then she showed up at my office on a Tuesday afternoon, designer heels clicking on the hardwood floors. Robert installed himself. "Mom, we need to talk about your retirement plan." I was 70 files deep into a custody case. "I'm not retiring, Victoria. I'm 66, not 90. She sat down across from my desk, crossed her legs, and pulled out a folder. "Morrison & Hayes is interested in acquiring Walsh & Morrison. They're offering $3.5 million. I actually laughed. "Acquire? We're not a tech startup, honey. We're a law firm. You're a dying practice." Her voice was cold, clinical, lawyer voice. "You have 4 employees, Mom. 4. You're still using paper files. Your billing system is from 2003. Meanwhile, you're working 70-hour weeks at an age when you should be traveling, relaxing, enjoying life. I enjoy my life just fine. This isn't about enjoyment. It's about being realistic." She leaned forward. "Morrison & Hayes would keep the name, absorb your clients, and you'd walk away with enough money to actually retire with dignity." That word, dignity. Like what I was doing was somehow undignified. "I built this firm with your father," I said quietly. "Every brick, every case, every single client who trusted us with their lives. This isn't just a business, Victoria. It's his legacy. Dad's been dead for 8 years. The words hit like a slap, not because they weren't true, but because of how easily she said them. Like his memory was just another obstacle in her way. He wouldn't want you killing yourself for. Don't you dare tell me what your father would want." I stood up, and she stood up too. We faced each other across that desk, and I barely recognized the woman in front of me. When had she become so hard? "Your father wanted to help people. That's what we do here. That's what we've always done. You help people?" She laughed, bitter. "You barely make payroll, Mom. You take pro bono cases you can't afford. You give payment plans to clients who never pay. You're running a charity, not a law firm. Get out." "Mom, get out of my office, Victoria." She grabbed her folder, her purse, paused at the door. "I'm trying to help you, but if you're going to be stubborn and stupid, then fine. Drown in your noble poverty. See if I care." She left, and for 2 weeks, I told myself she'd cool down, apologize. We'd have dinner and laugh about it. Instead, I got an email. Not even a phone call. "Since you've made it clear you value strangers over your own daughter's advice, I think it's best we take some space. Don't contact me unless you're ready to have an adult conversation about your future." That was 4 months ago. She blocked my number, returned my letters unopened. My own daughter cut me out of her life because I wouldn't sell my husband's legacy for $3.5 million. I threw myself into work. What else could I do? I had a custody case, 3 asylum applications, 2 deportation defenses. People needed me, and if my daughter didn't understand that, well, maybe I'd failed her as a mother. Then Sophie Bennett walked through my door. It was a Tuesday morning. Raining the way it always rains in Portland. Gray, persistent, the kind of rain that gets into your bones. I was alone in the office. Everyone else stuck in traffic. The door chimed, and I looked up from my coffee. She was soaked. Dark hair plastered to her face, jeans torn at the knee, backpack that had seen better days. Early 20s. Maybe. She had that look, that desperate hopefulness of someone who's been told no 100 times but keeps asking anyway. "We're not open yet," I said. Not unkindly. "Office hours start at 9. I'm not a client." She stepped inside, dripping on the welcome mat. "I'm here about the paralegal position?" I blinked. "What paralegal position? The posting on Indeed? Entry-level paralegal? Walsh and Morrison Law?" She pulled out her phone, showed me the screen. There it was. A job posting I definitely didn't write. I didn't post that. Her face fell. "Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed." No, it's fine." I waved her over. "Someone must have posted it. Maybe Patricia. She's been saying we need help. Come in. Sit down. You're drowning standing there." She sat in the chair across from my desk. The same chair Victoria had sat in 4 months ago. But where Tori had been polished and commanding, this girl was folded in on herself, trying to take up as little space as possible. "You have a resume?" I asked. She handed me a folder. Inside was a single sheet, printed at a library from the looks of it. Sophie Marie Bennett, 21 years old, Portland Community College, associate's degree in paralegal studies. No work experience beyond waitressing and retail. References from professors, not employers. "You just graduated?" I asked. "Last month. And you want to work in immigration law?" Something shifted in her expression. My mom was undocumented. She came here from Mexico when she was 17, worked as a cleaning lady her whole life. When she got sick, she was too scared to go to the hospital because she thought they'd deport her. By the time I convinced her to go, it was stage 4. "I'm sorry. She died when I was 18. Sophie's voice was steady, but her hands weren't. "I watched immigration lawyers help other families. Saw what good ones could do. I wanted to be part of that. I should have stopped there. Should have said we'd call her. Should have done a background check, called references, followed protocol. Instead, I asked, 'Where are you living?' The question caught her off guard. I have a place." "Sophie." She looked down. "My friend's couch. It's fine. It's temporary. And you walked here in the rain. Bus pass expired. I'm getting a new one this week." I thought about Robert, how he'd bring home stray law students, former clients down on their luck, anyone who needed help, how he'd drive me crazy with his big heart and terrible boundaries. How I loved him for it anyway. "The job pays $15 an hour, I heard myself say. "It's not much, but it's something. You'd be filing, answering phones, helping with client intake. If you work out, I'll train you on casework." Her eyes went wide. "Are you serious?" "Dead serious. But I need you to be honest with me. Can you handle this? The work is hard. The clients are dealing with terrible situations, and sometimes there's nothing we can do but try. I can handle it." "Then welcome to Walsh and Morrison Law." I stood, extended my hand. She shook it, her grip firm despite the trembling. "You start Monday, 9 a.m. sharp." "Thank you." Her voice cracked. "Thank you so much, Miss Walsh. Call me Eleanor." As she stood to leave, she pushed her wet hair back behind her ear. That's when I saw it. A birthmark, pale and crescent-shaped, right behind her left ear. My breath caught. Robert's mark. The exact same shape, the exact same place. "Sophie," I said, too quickly. "Your parents. You said your mom passed. What about your father?" She froze. "I don't have a father. Everyone has a father. Not everyone has a father who wants them." She wouldn't meet my eyes. "My mom raised me alone. That's all I know." She left before I could ask anything else. I sat at my desk for 20 minutes, staring at that resume. Sophie Marie Bennett. Born April 15, 2004. Robert died in January 2017. 8 years ago. 21 years ago. April 2004. Robert and I were separated. Not divorced, just separated. We'd been fighting, bad fights about whether to have another child. I wanted more kids. He said we couldn't afford it, that the firm was too new, that Tori needed our attention. I said he was making excuses. He said I was being unreasonable. I moved out for 6 months, rented an apartment, went to therapy, tried to figure out if our marriage was worth saving. It was. We reconciled in October 2004. Never talked about those 6 months again. But April 2004, that was right in the middle of our separation. I opened my laptop, pulled up the old employee files. We digitized them 5 years ago, scanned everything going back to 1990. I searched for cleaning staff, 2003 to 2004. There. Maria Gonzalez. Hired February 2003. Terminated November 2004. Maria. Sophie's mother had been Maria. I clicked on her file. The photo was small, grainy, but I could see Sophie in her features. The same dark eyes, same curve of her mouth. Termination reason. Resigned without notice. November 2004. Right after Robert and I got back together. My hands were shaking now. I searched Maria Gonzalez, Portland, Oregon. Found an obituary from 2022. Survived by her daughter, Sophie Marie Bennett. Bennett. Not Gonzalez. I searched Sophie Bennett birth records, Oregon. Nothing public, but I knew how to dig deeper. Called in a favor from a friend at the county clerk's office. Father's name on the birth certificate. Unknown, but there was a notation. An amendment filed in 2017. January 2017. The same month Robert died. Someone had tried to add a father's name to Sophie's birth certificate. The request was denied because the father was deceased and there was no DNA test on file. The name on the amendment request. Robert James Walsh. My husband. Sophie's father. I made it to the bathroom before I threw up. The next week was a blur. Sophie showed up Monday morning at 8:45, eager and nervous. I put her to work filing, taught her our phone system, introduced her to Patricia and the rest of the staff. She was good. Quick learner, kind with clients, asked smart questions, and every time I looked at her, I saw Robert. Not just the birthmark. The way she tilted her head when she was thinking. How she drummed her fingers on the desk when she was anxious. The way she said right. Right when she was agreeing with something. Robert's gestures. Robert's habits. Robert's daughter. I needed to know for sure. I called Patricia into my office, closed the door. That job posting, I said. The one for the paralegal position. Who posted it? Patricia frowned. You did, didn't you? No. Then, I don't know. I thought maybe you asked Jamie to do it? Jamie was our receptionist, part-time, barely 23 himself. I called him in. Did you post a job listing for a paralegal? No. I thought Patricia did it. Someone had posted that job listing. Someone had wanted Sophie to find us. Or wanted me to find Sophie. That night, I did something I'm not proud of. When Sophie left her backpack at the office, said she'd pick it up tomorrow, I went through it. I needed answers. Inside, I found a library card, some granola bars, a change of clothes, a folder with her associate's degree diploma, and at the bottom, in a Ziploc bag like she was trying to protect it, an old photograph. Robert, younger, maybe 40, standing with a woman who had to be Maria, his arm around her shoulders, both of them smiling. On the back, in faded ink, R and M. Summer 2003. My husband had an affair. Got a woman pregnant. And somehow, impossibly, that woman's daughter had ended up working for me, 21 years later. I put everything back exactly how I found it. Went home. Didn't sleep. The truth came out the way truth always does. Slowly. Then all at once. I hired a private investigator. I'm not proud of that either. But I needed to understand what happened. Needed to know if Sophie knew who Robert was. If she'd come here deliberately. The PI's report came back 2 weeks later. Maria Gonzalez started working for us in February 2003. Robert hired her himself. Within weeks, they were having an affair. It lasted 8 months, overlapping with my separation from Robert. Maria got pregnant in March 2004. When she told Robert, he gave her $50,000 and told her to disappear. Said he was reconciling with his wife, that this couldn't get out, that it would destroy his family and his firm. Maria took the money, moved to a different part of Portland, raised Sophie alone. Never told Sophie who her father was, until she was dying. In December 2016, Maria, dying of cancer, finally told Sophie the truth, gave her that photograph, told her Robert Walsh was her father. Sophie tried to reach out, sent letters to our office. They were intercepted by Victoria. My daughter had been managing our mail while Robert was sick, those last few months before he died. Sophie's letters arrived, and Victoria opened them. Read about Maria, about the affair, about Sophie, and decided to bury it. When Robert died in January 2017, Sophie tried to amend her birth certificate. Victoria somehow found out, probably through contacts at the county clerk's office. She had the amendment blocked. For 4 years, Sophie tried to connect with us. Every letter intercepted. Every email bounced. Victoria had set up filters, had our receptionist trained to throw away anything from Sophie Bennett. Then Victoria left our firm to join Morrison and Hayes. The filters came down. Sophie's application for the paralegal position went through, but Victoria saw it. And that's when she came to my office with that merger offer. She wanted me to sell the firm, wanted to erase any trace of her father's affair, wanted Sophie to disappear into corporate anonymity where no one would ever connect the dots. When I refused to sell, Victoria took matters into her own hands. She deleted Sophie's application from our system, sent a rejection email from my account. So Sophie posted the job listing herself, used a fake Indeed account. Desperate, broke, homeless, she manufactured her own opportunity because every door had been slammed in her face, and I'd hired her because I saw my dead husband in her face and thought it was just grief playing tricks on me. I sat in my office with that PI report, and I wanted to scream. Robert had betrayed me. Victoria had betrayed Sophie. And I'd been so blind to all of it. I didn't tell Sophie right away. I couldn't. How do you tell a girl that her father is dead? That your daughter actively sabotaged her life? That the woman sitting across from her is technically her stepmother? Instead, I watched. I saw how Sophie poured herself into the work, stayed late to finish filings, asked to sit in on client meetings. She was good at this. Natural. She had Robert's mind for the law, his instinct for seeing the human underneath the legal jargon, and she had something else. A hunger. A need to prove herself that went beyond normal ambition. One night, 3 months after she started, we were alone in the office finishing an asylum application. Sophie was typing, I was proofreading, and she suddenly said, "Can I ask you something personal?" "Sure. Why didn't you sell the firm? When your daughter wanted you to?" I looked up. "She told you about that?" "Patricia mentioned it. Said there was a big fight, that your daughter stopped talking to you." "Patricia talks too much." Sophie smiled. But it was sad. I can't imagine cutting off your mom like that. My mom and I were everything to each other. When she died, I felt like I died too. I'm sorry you lost her so young. She was the best person I ever knew. Sophie's voice was thick. She worked herself to death, literally, so I could have a better life. And I want to make her proud. I want to be someone she'd be proud of. I'm sure she already was. Maybe. She went back to typing, but her hands were shaking. "Do you believe in signs? Like people guiding you from wherever they are?" My throat tightened. "I don't know. Maybe. I think my mom led me here." Sophie wasn't looking at me. I know that sounds crazy. But I applied to 20 firms. Got rejected from all of them. Then I saw your posting, and something just. I don't know, it felt right. Like she was telling me this was where I belonged. I couldn't breathe. "Sophie. And working here, learning from you, it's been the first time since she died that I feel like I have purpose again. Like I'm not just surviving, I'm actually living." She finally looked at me, eyes bright with tears. So thank you for taking a chance on me. That's when I knew I had to tell her. Not because it was easy, but because she deserved the truth. Maria had lied to protect her. Victoria had lied to protect herself. Robert had lied to protect his reputation. I was done with lies. Sophie, there's something I need to tell you. It's about your father. Her face went blank. I don't want to talk about him. I know. But you need to hear this. Miss Walsh, Eleanor, please. My mom told me who he was right before she died. Some lawyer she worked for who paid her to go away. I don't need details. His name was Robert Walsh. Silence. My husband. Your father. She stood up so fast her chair fell over. What? I didn't know. I swear I didn't know until 2 weeks after I hired you. But I've been investigating. And you're lying. I'm not. This is insane. Why would you? She backed toward the door. Is this some kind of sick game? Sophie, please. My mom told me he was a lawyer. She didn't tell me his name. She said he was married, that he gave her money to disappear, that he wanted nothing to do with us. And you're saying that was your husband? That I've been working here for 3 months and you just what? You were testing me? No. I didn't know. I didn't put it together until after I hired you. Then why didn't you say anything? She was crying now, angry tears. Why did you let me keep working here like an idiot? Talking about my mom. Talking about proving myself. When you knew the whole time. Because I was trying to figure out what to do. Because your father's been dead for 8 years and my daughter I stopped. I couldn't tell her about Victoria. Not yet. I needed time to process this. Time to process. She laughed bitterly. My mom died alone. I've been homeless. I've been broke and desperate. And barely surviving. But sure. You needed time to process. Sophie. I kid. You don't have to. Yes, I do. She grabbed her backpack. I can't work here. I can't look at you. I can't. He left you something. She stopped. In his will, I said quietly. Robert. He left a sealed letter, to be opened if anyone named Sophie Bennett ever contacted the firm. I found it last week in his old files. What does it say? I don't know. It's addressed to you. I pulled the envelope from my desk drawer. Old, yellowed, sealed with tape. On the front, in Robert's handwriting, for Sophie, if she ever finds me. Sophie took it with shaking hands. Stared at it for a long moment. Then she left without opening it. I didn't see Sophie for a week. She didn't answer my calls. Didn't respond to emails. I thought I'd lost her forever. Then Victoria showed up at my office. My daughter walked in like she owned the place, which I suppose she thought she did. 4 months since our fight, and she looked exactly the same. Perfect suit, perfect hair, perfect mask. We need to talk, she said. I have nothing to say to you. Sophie Bennett came to my office yesterday. My blood went cold. She told me a fascinating story. Victoria sat down, crossed her legs. About how she's apparently my half-sister. How Dad had an affair. How you hired her, and then told her the truth. Victoria. She also told me she found something interesting when she opened Dad's letter. A DNA test, dated December 2016. Dad knew he was dying, and he wanted proof. He sent hair samples to a lab. Had them tested against Sophie's info from her birth amendment request. I didn't know about that. No. But I did. Victoria's smile was cold. I knew about Sophie 4 years ago, Mom. When those letters started arriving right before Dad died. You knew? Of course I knew. You think I'd let some random girl claim to be Dad's daughter without investigating? I had her checked out. Found out about Maria, the affair, all of it. And you said nothing. What was I supposed to say? Hey Mom. By the way, Dad cheated on you and has a bastard daughter. That would have destroyed you. So I handled it. Blocked her letters. Rejected her applications. Made sure she stayed away from us. You had no right. I had every right. Victoria stood, and I saw real emotion crack through that perfect facade. I was protecting you. Protecting this firm. Protecting Dad's legacy. By torturing an innocent girl. By protecting our family. She was yelling now. Sophie Bennett is not family. She's a mistake Dad made. and I wasn't going to let that mistake ruin everything he built. Is that why you wanted me to sell the firm? So Sophie could never prove her connection to us? Partly. Victoria had the audacity to look me in the eye. But also, because I genuinely think you should retire, Mom. You're 66. You're exhausted. You're barely making money. Selling would have been good for everyone. Except Sophie. Sophie would have been fine. Morrison and Hayes would have hired her as a paralegal, paid her well, and she'd never have known the connection. Everyone wins. Except, that's not what happened, I said quietly. Sophie found us anyway. And now she knows everything. Yes. Victoria sat back down. She knows. And she's threatening to go public. Tell the media, the Bar Association, everyone. About Dad's affair. About how we treated her. It'll destroy Morrison and Hayes' reputation. Destroy mine. Probably damage the firm too. Then you reap what you sowed. That's why I'm here. Victoria pulled out a check. $500,000. I give this to Sophie. She signs an NDA. And this all goes away. She can go to any law school she wants. Start any career. She'll be set for life. I stared at that check. Exactly what Robert did 21 years ago. Pay someone to disappear. No, I said. Mom, be reasonable. Get out. You're really going to let this girl ruin everything Dad worked for? Your father ruined it himself when he betrayed Maria and me. You made it worse when you betrayed Sophie. I stood, walked to the door, opened it. Now get out of my office before I say something I'll regret. Victoria grabbed her purse, her check, paused at the door. If you don't take this deal, I'll fight her. I have resources, Mom. Lawyers, investigators, money. I'll bury her. Try it. Choose carefully. It's her or me. I already chose. I met her eyes. The moment you told me you knew about Sophie and did nothing, you stopped being my daughter. Get out. She left. This time, I knew it was forever. I found Sophie at Maria's grave. It wasn't hard to figure out where she'd be. The cemetery was small, on the east side of Portland. Affordable plots for people who couldn't afford the fancy memorial parks. Maria Gonzalez's headstone was simple, just her name, her dates, and the words loving mother. Sophie was sitting in the grass next to it, Robert's letter open in her lap. He apologized, she said when I sat down next to her. In the letter, said he was a coward. Said he loved my mom, but was too scared to choose her. Said he thought about me every day. Said he hoped I'd have a better life without him than I would have had with him. Did he? No. She wiped her eyes. My mom worked 2 jobs my whole life. We lived in a studio apartment. I wore thrift store clothes. We ate beans and rice most nights. A better life would have been having a father who gave a damn. I'm sorry. Your daughter came to see me. I know. She offered me money. A lot of money. Said I could go to law school. Start over. Just sign an NDA and forget all of this. What did you say? I said no. Sophie looked at me. Because my mom didn't raise me to take hush money. She raised me to stand up for myself. To be proud of who I am. Even if who I am is the daughter of a man who was too ashamed to claim me. Robert wasn't ashamed of you. He was ashamed of himself. Is there a difference? Maybe not. We sat there for a while. Quiet. The rain started again, soft and steady. I don't know what to do, Sophie finally said. Part of me wants to burn it all down. Expose everything. Make sure everyone knows what your husband did, what your daughter did. You'd be within your rights. But another part of me. She touched her mother's headstone. My mom spent her whole life trying to give me a better future. If I burn everything down, what does that give me except revenge? Sometimes revenge is enough. Is it for you? I thought about Victoria. My daughter who'd chosen cruelty over compassion. Who'd tortured an innocent girl to protect a dead man's reputation. Part of me wanted to see her career destroyed. Wanted her to feel even a fraction of the pain Sophie had felt. But another part of me just felt tired. No, I admitted. It's not enough. Sophie nodded. My mom told me something before she died. She said Robert wasn't a bad man, just a weak one. She said she forgave him years ago, and I should too. You don't have to forgive anyone. I know. But I think. She took a shaky breath. I think I want to try. Here's what happened next. Sophie didn't go public. Didn't sue. Didn't expose anything. She just kept working at Walsh and Morrison, kept learning, kept becoming the lawyer her mother would have been proud of. I didn't reconcile with Victoria. She sent a few emails, cold professional things about moving forward and putting this behind us. I deleted them all. Maybe someday, I'll be ready to talk to her. But not today. Not for a long time. What I did do was change the firm. Added Sophie's name to the door. Walsh, Morrison, and Bennett. She cried when she saw the new sign. I didn't earn this, she said. Yes, you did. We started a scholarship fund in Maria's name. For children of undocumented immigrants who want to study law. Every year, we give out $50,000. The exact amount Robert gave Maria to disappear. We're taking that blood money and turning it into something good. Sophie's in law school now. University of Oregon. Full scholarship. She works at the firm part-time. Takes cases when she can. She's brilliant. She's going to be better than Robert and I ever were. Last week, she asked if she could come over for dinner. Not at the office. At my home. I made chicken, the way Robert used to make it. We sat at the table, and it felt strange. Like playing house with someone else's family. Can I ask you something? Sophie said. Anything. Do you hate me? For what my existence represents? I thought about that. About betrayal and lies and secrets that poisoned everything they touched. No, I said. I don't hate you. I hate what was done to you. I hate that my husband was a coward, and my daughter was cruel. But you? You're just a girl who deserved better. I'm not a girl. I'm 21. When you're 66, everyone under 30 is a girl. She smiled. Fair enough. Can I ask you something? Sure. Why did you really post that fake job listing? Was it just to get your foot in the door? Sophie looked down. Honestly? I didn't even know if you'd see it. I needed to try one more time. My mom spent her last breath telling me who my father was. I couldn't let that be for nothing. She loved you very much. I know. Her voice was thick. And I think she'd be happy. That I found you, I mean. Even if the road to get here was ugly. Robert would be proud of you too. I don't care if he would be. I know. But he would be anyway. We finished dinner. She helped me wash dishes. And when she left, she hugged me. Quick, awkward, but real. Thank you, she said. For giving me a chance when you didn't have to. Thank you for being brave enough to keep trying. I'm 66 years old. My husband betrayed me. My daughter disowned me. My life didn't turn out the way I thought it would. But I have Sophie now. And maybe that's not the family I planned for. But it's the family I have. The family I choose. Last week, Sophie won her first case. Immigration hearing, representing a mother fighting deportation. She was brilliant. Passionate. Robert would have been proud. I was proud. After the hearing, we went back to the office. The sign outside reads Walsh, Morrison, and Bennett. Inside, there's a photo on my desk now. Robert and Maria, summer 2003. Both of them smiling like they had a secret. They did have a secret. And that secret became Sophie. Some secrets destroy everything they touch. But some secrets, when brought into the light, become something else entirely. They become family.